What's going on? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I am Michael Wolfman, and we are thrilled to come to you today with our Challengers movie review. This is the new film directed by Luca Guadagnino, who is responsible for films like Call Me by Your Name. He's done films like that one, Bones and All, that came out.
Saw that one.
Which was, I saw that one on Thanksgiving when it came out, of all things, which was like very ironic. I loved it.
You think I liked it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's so good. And then also Suspiria 2018, which isn't a bad remake of the original. So he's a very, very good filmmaker, very unique filmmaker in the way he tells stories. He's one of my favorite filmmakers working today.
And apparently he has one coming out too later on this year.
Two films in 1 year.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Queer. I remember that. Yeah, that
one. With Daniel Craig.
Which we'll talk about when we do our early Oscar predictions, because I don't know if this film, I think this will get a few texts and maybe screenplay and such, but I don't think this one's going to perform as well because it's in April as like Queer would, because it's later in the year.
Because
that kind of thing. Yeah.
If it were to come out later in the year, I think this film would get like a few nominations too. It would get.
Which ones?
Best Actress.
Yeah.
Picture.
Oh yeah.
Director.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna throw a wild card out there. Supporting actor.
For which one?
Josh Charles.
Josh O'Connor, you mean?
Yeah, Josh O'Connor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess yeah. He was incredible on the film.
He's my favorite part about the movie, actually. He's my favorite performance.
I think he was my favorite performance too. I loved Mike Feist. I loved all the performances in here. Every performance was excellent. And all you Zendaya haters can shut up, because she is phenomenal in this. This is like a career best performance from her. And it's just, so I am taken aback right now, guys, by how much I love this movie, because I knew it was going. I had faith in Luca Guadagnino. I was still excited because it was Luca Guadagnino, but the trailers with that, I like it, come on, I like it, come on, Rihanna song and all that stuff, and it was like so bad. I was not into any of the marketing of this movie, so I was just like, what is this gonna be? I don't really know. It was still in my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year if you watched our video, because it was Luca Guadagnino, and that's the reason why I was excited. But it was in the lower half, like in number 10 or something.
Yeah.
But then when I saw this movie on Thursday night, it blew me away. I was not expecting to love this as much as I did. This might be my new favorite movie of the year, guys.
Me too.
and we'll explain why. Because the way this film plays out, so it is when it first starts you off, what I thought was so impressive is it doesn't start off with your studio logo. It starts off throwing you into the movie. This movie is really just, I've never seen that in a movie, I don't think ever, where it doesn't start with the studio logo. It literally just throws you into the film. And it's like, whoa, okay, so we're getting something different when it just throws you into those characters, and then it shows the studio logo and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really well done and unique. And just from the beginning, the way the cinematography is in this movie and the score from Trent Reznor and Alex Ross, so good. It's like a techno beat synth score to it, but it's so good. I loved the score in this movie.
It was great. And then, I think I actually thought it in a better way than you did. I thought in Dolby.
Oh, in Dolby, that would have been awesome. Yeah,
it was.
Dolby or IMAX would have been great too. Yeah, because I would have loved to see it in that way, because the sound, they use the sound, the way the sound works in this movie is excellent. And I thought this, the editing, bro, I'm stunned. I didn't think transitions could still be on this level. There are some transitions shots in this movie that I didn't know were still possible. for example, one person will hit the ball in the present time, and then as at the exact same time that they hit the ball in the present time, it also shows them hitting the ball in the past time. And that's the way the editing happens.
And then like, and plus like,
so good.
Okay, like, you know, like usually movie will start with the final match, right? You know, and they'll flashback.
Yeah.
Film, the final match is throughout the movie,
which I thought was brilliant. And what I thought was also really well done, and the cinematography and editing shows this, is how it's almost like a metaphor for, because she talks about how, you know, tennis is a relationship. And so you're watching this relationship play out, and you are the tennis ball in this movie. The audience is the tennis ball being smacked around by the tennis rackets. And that's why they do the point of view shots, because you are which was so clever, because you are the tennis ball getting bounced around and all that stuff. And the reason why is because of the non-linear story, how you're going back and forth between past to the present time of that tennis game, to back to the past again, to back to the present, to all of these different jumps back and forth. And so it's very sporadic, but it never feels too rushed or anything. But that's how well done it was on a technical standpoint. And I felt like it got that metaphor across really well, because apparently Luca Guadagnino says he doesn't even watch tennis that much. Like, he's not a huge tennis person himself, but he wanted to make a sports movie, and he thought it would be interesting that, like, out of all of them, that tennis would be the one that could make the most sense of, like, making the audience become the ball. And, you know, doing something like that,
because like, plus, like, you know, like, I felt like also tennis was their relationship, you know, like you know, like tennis represented their relationship, because, you know, they're always going, you know, back and forth.
That's true.
Because, like, you know, just going back and forth between the guys, and it's not a spoiler either.
Oh no, it's not. It's in the trailer, and I thought, you know, because also every time that they're together, they're always talking about tennis. They even mention to her at one point, like, saying, "Can we not talk about tennis and all that stuff right now? Can we just talk about other stuff?" The way that this film also deals with obsession, because that's another thing this movie deals with, is the themes of, like, obsession. I heard one person compare it to, like, Eyes Wide Shut meets Whiplash. You know?
I've never seen Eyes Wide Shut yet, so.
Oh yeah, it's very good, but it's
yeah.
But that's I heard some comparisons there, because, you know, you have your erotic thriller mixed with the Whiplash kind of obsession story about, you know.
Yeah, speaking of that, like, erotic thriller, me and my friend,
everything we can to do the best. So
good friend of the channel, like, we compare this movie to basically, you know, like, how it is a it basically, you know, like, have like all the tension of a porno, but with better acting and not really any sex, really. You know, like, the movie, like, people that's one of the controversies of the movie. People saying, like, oh, I want to go see the like raunchy sex thriller, and it's really not that. I mean, it is, but it's not. You know?
Yeah,
there's no visual sex.
It's not. There's Zendaya is still sticking by her code of not showing nudity in movies right now. But I will say that she
actually has the nudity though.
There was a scene though where she was wearing that bra. If that's what you're talking about.
No, Malcolm and Marie, the other movie. Should you remember?
Oh wait, she actually showed it.
It was a see-through shirt, but still.
Oh yeah, okay.
It wasn't. You know, like, there was no bra or anything. So
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, during the knife scene.
Because I know there's a see-through bra that she had in this movie as well, but which I was like, oh, that's interesting. But when I was, but yeah, no, I completely agree. Because what's interesting is, yeah, when I saw this movie, my mom had the same controversy. She was like, I'm not gonna go see it because it's like the threesome movie. But then, and I had some other friends be like, that ain't a tennis movie. That's a movie about a threesome, stuff like that. But when I saw this movie, I was shocked at how there was no sex scenes in it. It was just straight up a character study, which I really appreciated. A very well written character study about these three tennis players who two of them happen to be really good friends, and they both are crushing on the same girl, and they are trying to fight for the same girl. And I feel like just the whole back and forth cat and mouse thing. This is such a masterclass in unlikable characters.
Oh yes,
sort of like how Succession is a masterclass in unlikable characters. How like you don't like any of the characters, but that's good and that's the point. That's kind of like how it is with challengers as well. Like this is
the only semi, and that's very semi-likable one is Mike Feist. Really, if you think about it,
I would Mike Feist probably because he's the family man, has the kid, all that kind of stuff. But he's not really. I wouldn't call him like. I wouldn't necessarily call him a bad guy per se, but I wouldn't also say what's interesting is there is no villain of this movie though. I wouldn't say that any of them are a villain. I would just say that they're all extremely flawed individuals, who just want the best for themselves, kind of. So
yeah,
that's what I would say, and I found that really fascinating and really well done. And if anything, you could actually kind of say the villain of the movie is Tennis, and the reason why is because Josh O'Connor's character gets so obsessed with tennis to the point, of what happens in the movie happens with him. But then you also get Zendaya, who can never play tennis anymore because she hurt herself in a tennis match, which is in the trailer. That was very brutal. But then she now can never play it again, and she just has to coach tennis. And then you get Mike Feist, who by the time we get to the final match, he says, "I think I'm going to retire after this," and all this stuff. And how are you going to look at me if I do that? So I think, if anything, the villain of the movie is actually tennis itself, which is interesting. And they're actually trying to overcome the tension of the tennis itself. So it's so well done. And yeah,
did you catch that subtle moment though? At the end, there was a subtle moment that I don't know if you caught.
Are you talking about the one moment I did love was the ball on the middle racket, and whenever he puts the ball in the middle of the racket, and that one save where he does something like that, and then Mike Feist is just like, "Fuck off," and just lets it, the ball fly over the edge. And let me tell you what, I was sweating by the time we get to that final showdown and they're in the sudden death portion of the match.
Yeah,
I was sweating. My palms were like, "What's gonna happen?"
That part though was my only complaint. That part was my only complaint is that it lasted a little long.
Are you talking about the scene of him jumping?
The final match, yeah,
of him jumping over the net, or just
just in general, just the final match, it felt like the last. Because they're already building up to it, throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that we had to have a climactic.
Yeah, I did too.
Setup because we had our set one was literally in the first scene of the movie.
Yeah.
And then our set two is somewhere in the middle of the movie, and then set three is there in the final part of the movie. So I thought that was kind of interesting how they do that. In a way, it's almost telling you act 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
because they had set 1. Set 2 and then set 3. I thought that was really fascinating, but it was but yeah, it made me definitely respect tennis a lot more. I love tennis a lot more. But what did you what was the subtle moment that you're talking about?
I can't say yet. We'll have to do this. I put in the private chat though.
The private chat. Let's see here. Oh. Yeah, you have to explain that to me once we do the video.
Remember, like when you said he did the serve. He did the serve again, and you look at his face.
Oh, okay. Oh, like the way that they're expressing to each other through the eyes and the
That's when he knew that something,
Yeah.
Again, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because the way, that's the thing about like how just masterful the acting was and everything, because when you see the just the looks on each of their faces, you know, the way they talk to each other, and just these looks they give each other are just fantastic. I thought that was so well done. And and yeah, I really bought into Zendaya's role of her being this like superstar tennis player, almost like Serena Williams. I thought she was great. And then every character had great chemistry with one another. I thought Zendaya, Mike Feist, Josh O'Connor, all of them had really great chemistry with one another. And they're really the only characters in the films. Like, there might be other side characters, but they don't get really any development. It's really only those three. But very well done there. And yeah, I thought the ending, without giving anything away, like what actually happens at the end, I thought was really, really good.
Like, I've heard reviews say this too, though. You know, like, that's kind of a spoiler, but I don't really, you know, like, it's like we really don't know who wins either. We do, but we don't.
You do, because by the time, and this is a spoiler, guys. So if you want to see this movie, step out now, and then we'll just say that from the rest of this point on, we're open to talk about some spoiler stuff here, just because I do want to mention this. So bounce out now if you guys haven't seen it. Come back to this review. But when you see him hit the ball and everything, he hits it and it falls into the other guy's court. So that means that Mike Feist did win, but they're both hugging each other by the time that they win. And I think that's why whenever you see, at first I thought he lost, because Zendaya was like, "Come on," and all that stuff, and I was like, "Oh shit, did he lose? Like, did I see that wrong?" And then she smiles like so big, and she's like so happy and all that stuff, and then it ends, you know. And
okay, and then, like, you know, about the subtle thing though. Okay, like in the beginning of, like, I think it was the beginning of the middle of the movie, you know, like he says, if you can serve it like me, that means that you two fucked, right?
Oh yeah.
And at the end, he does it again.
Yeah. And he does it again, and he smiles at him, and he's being all conniving. And
this guy was this movie was so, I'll have to see it again though, you know.
Oh yeah, I definitely will too, because like I said, I actually missed the first 4 minutes, because when I went to go see this movie, guys, I left at like the showtime, which is 9:15, because Regal is like stupid with trailers, and they usually have like 25 minutes trailer. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll make it in time. And by the time I start walking to the auditorium, it's like 9:33 or so, and the movie has already started, and I missed like 4 minutes of it. And I was like, oh, they must have not had 25 minutes of trailers this time, or 20 minutes of trailers even, because they didn't even have 20 minutes of trailers. So I was like, they must have started a little bit earlier this time. So I am gonna have to go back just to see like the whole 4 minutes.
Speaking of trailers, I got a question though. Does Regal app ever do this? AMC does, you know, like, because when they're like tell you, you know, like what trailers played before your movie, you know, they say rewatch these trailers that played before.
No, they'd never do that. That's interesting.
See, like if you click on like Monkey Man, right?
Yeah,
it'll say like revisit accompanying trailers.
Yeah, no, mine just tell you the showtimes and such. Interesting. Yeah, no, mine definitely does not
cool
do that.
Though, right?
That is really cool if you're into those kind of trailers and such. But
yeah, sometimes I am, you know, because this movie though, we got to talk about the marketing. Plus, like, I don't know if this movie's going to do very well, because it opened at $15 million.
15 million on what was the budget?
55.
55. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to do super well, because Fall Guys coming out next weekend, and that's going to be the big hit of next week. So,
and then after that, you know, you got If, which doesn't look very good.
It doesn't look very good, but it might make enough money to, you know, this because of families and little kids and all that stuff. So, but I mean, hey, who knows? After seeing Challengers now, this movie didn't look really good from the trailers. The only reason I was excited for it was Luca Guadagnino, and then now I was like blown away by just how good this movie is. So you definitely heard it here, folks. rush out to your theater.
And then do what else is coming
Yeah.
out on the 10th too, though? After Fall Guy,
What?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes too.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that one's coming out. Then of course Furiosa's coming out. We have a lot of great movies coming our way, guys. Just and now we're finally really kicking off the movie season. I feel we're really getting stuff like, we got Dune Part 2, Civil War, Love Lies Bleeding, Challengers. Like we're getting all these really great movies now, and I'm so happy about that because 2024 started out rough, but now it's getting great. And yeah, I just I'm excited for what's in store for us now. But yeah, guys, one of the best, I would say one of the best sports movies, definitely of all time, but definitely the best sports movie of like the last decade or so. Like it's definitely
the last sports movie that I saw that I truly loved, that's a true sports movie, it's called The Express, and that was 16 years ago.
The last one I truly loved was Warrior, and that was 2011.
Oh yeah, Warrior,
yeah.
But The Express, though, The Express, is really good too, though. Wait, Creed also.
Yeah.
Creed also.
Creed was also really good. But Creed was 2016, right? 2015, yeah. So
you got three. You got three, basically.
Three, but it's like, but even then, the last great sports movie was almost 10 years ago, So I feel like this is the best sports movie we've had in like a decade. And
because
so,
not to like bash or anything, but most of the sports movies now are just except for most of them are just the religious ones.
Yeah, they're not like anything all that special. Or you get stuff like The Long Game in theaters where it's a freaking golf movie that no one cares about. So it's
I like golf. I like some golf movies. King Cup is fun.
And then that one, The Greatest Game Ever Played, that was good.
Yes, and then Happy Gilmore, the golf movie.
Oh yeah, Happy Gilmore. That was another good one. So Caddyshack. Yeah, there's a couple good golf movies for sure, but that was not one of them. That's for sure. But yeah, guys, definitely rush out and see Challengers when you get a chance in theaters. It is such a phenomenal film. Just truly the best film of the year, and will probably be in my top 10. Maybe definitely will be in my top 10 by the middle half of the year. Could end up staying in my top 10 by the end of the year.
It could, maybe
definitely will be interesting to see where this goes. Zendaya's having an excellent year between Dune Part 2 and this. Like,
let me look if she has something else too. I remember she has something else too.
I don't know, but I know that she is having one hell of a year between those two movies right now. So she is absolutely killing it. But yeah, guys.
She doesn't have anything else. She actually doesn't have anything next year so far, it says.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I know she'll probably be in the next Spider-Man movie, but we don't know when that's going to be. But actually, come to think of it, I just realized this is the first movie, not TV. If you're not including TV, because I know she's technically the lead of Euphoria, but if you are including movies in her filmography, this is the first actual starring role she has.
I know.
In a movie. This is the first lead role she's actually had in a film. So
she can carry her own movie.
It's really cool to see her have her first lead performance and to see her finally carry her own movie like this and everything. And I don't know if she will wind up getting an Oscar nomination for either this or Dune Part 2 because they're both so early out in the year. But I would love to see her garnish some awards recognition for
without question, though, she will win one day.
Oh, for sure. After seeing just how good of an actress she's already won an Emmy, that's for sure, for Euphoria. And so her winning an Oscar is not off the table. And I have a feeling one of these days she will become an EGOT because she's also a singer. So I think she could win a Grammy if she's in a Broadway play. She could win a Tony. I think one of these days an EGOT is in her future. So that's one thing to definitely consider. So
yeah.
So Yeah, guys, that'll be it for us.
It's a movie that you can really spoil that much, you know.
It's not. Yeah, so that's why we just wanted to talk about those couple things, and then just.
Okay, but though, did you think they were gay? I mean, do you think they were?
I think they were definitely bisexual.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you think that they actually did it before or no? Because I feel like they did.
It's alluded to, you know, but they never tell you outright, which I like that the film did that with a lot of things, that they left a lot of things unanswered.
Like
they,
you would have felt like you would have felt like almost me. I thought they were going to do the cliche route, and they could have, and they still could. You know, is that like I don't think that's Mike Feist's kid.
Oh, you think that's Josh O'Connor's kid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. That would be messed up, but it's definitely a possibility because of just how things were. But I loved how he acted so much like a father. Like I love that scene in that we get of him sleeping with the little kid and everything. Which, by the way, I also want to point out this movie is 2 hours and 11 minutes. I was worried it was going to feel too long. It actually didn't for me. This film was like I was just so immersed the whole way through.
Yeah,
that I could have used even more of it. I thought it was that extraordinary. So, yeah, guys, if you have not seen it, definitely rush out, see Challengers. I challenge you all to see this film and come up with your own perspectives on it. I will definitely read all your comments on it if you let us know if you've seen it. Because we love hearing you guys' thoughts on films and all that stuff. So definitely make sure you comment down below if you've seen the film or not. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so that you never miss a review. We will see you all soon because we have a special video coming up for you guys here at the end of the month. So you guys can stay tuned for that. But we will see you all soon. And until next time, stay classy, my friends, and keep on watching those movies.